Hello and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court and with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh. Divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping me understand marriage and courting, not dating, in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 226 episode, 12 things you should do ASAP if your wife asks for a divorce, plus comments from you answering your marriage and crisis questions. So get to posting in the comment section now. So don't wait. Also, please share the show to help other marriages. And if you are getting value, and give it a like on Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, whatever platform you happen to be listening on. So don't wait. Get in that queue for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And so, as we always do, we start out with a quote. And today's quote is directly from the diary of church mystic and Saint Maria Faustina, who was shown four visions by her guardian angel. Vision number one was a vision of before heaven and before hell, which we did in our last show. And this show would be a vision of hell. So here we go. Saint Faustina, her tour of hell as given by her guardian angel. Quote, today I was led by an angel to the chasms of hell. It is a place of great torture. How awesomely large and extensive it is. The kinds of tortures I saw, the first torture that constitutes hell is the loss of God. The second is perpetual remorse of conscience. The third is that one's condition will never change. The fourth is the fire that will penetrate the soul without destroying it. A terrible suffering, since it is a purely spiritual fire lit by God's anger. The fifth torture is conditional darkness and a terrible suffocating smell. And despite the darkness, the devils and the souls of the damned see each other and all the evil, both of others and their own. The sixth torture is the constant company of Satan. The seventh torture is horrible despair, hatred of God, vile words, curses, and blasphemies. These are the tortures suffered by all the damned together. But that is not the end of the sufferings of hell. There are special tortures destined for particular souls. These are the torments of the senses. Each soul undergoes terrible and indescribable sufferings related to the manner in which it was sinned. It has sinned. There are caverns and pits of torture where one form of agony differs from another. I would have died at the very sight of these tortures if the omnipotence of God had not supported me. Let the sinner know that he will be tortured throughout all eternity in those senses which he made use of to sin. I'm writing this at the command of God so that no soul may find an excuse by saying there is no hell or that nobody has ever been there. And so no one can say what it is like. I, Sister Faustina, by the order of God, have visited the abyss of hell so that I might tell souls about it and testify to its existence. I cannot speak about it now, but I have received a command from God to leave it in writing. The devils were full of hatred for me, but they had to obey me at the command of God. What I have written is but a pale shadow of the things I saw. But I noticed one thing, that most of the souls there are those who disbelieved that there is a hell. When I came to, I could hardly recover from the fright. how terribly souls suffer there. Consequently, I pray even more fervently for the conversion of sinners. I incessantly plead God's mercy upon them. Oh, my Jesus, I would rather be in agony until the end of the world amidst the greatest sufferings than offend you by the least sin. End quote. Diary of Saint Maria Faustina Kowalski, number 741. Bam. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. All right, gentlemen. And so today we have a nice little show and we are going to get started. And today we are talking about divorce, and not just divorce, but what you as a man should do almost immediately after your wife has tells you that she would like a divorce. And so the question of the day is, what why does a woman ask for divorce? Many times when a woman asks for divorce, the first thing the man does is either he's in shock, like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen, or what are you doing that for? He gets mad, he gets angry, he loses control, starts acting like an uncontrollable beast. And then, of course, what that does is just pisses her off more or scares her. And then she just, it's nothing, the goods of it. So that's what we're going to go over today. But also, so why does a wife ask for divorce? And many times it's understandable that you have to understand how women think, and you have to understand that they're not doing this on purpose. They're doing this because they feel it's a last resort for their happiness, for them to have a better life, for their kids, and even for you, because she feels I'm not making you happy. So why do you want me around, or why should I stay around? Okay. And it's kind of weird, man. This is why it's important that you as a husband learn how to read your wife. Don't let things fester. Don't let things, always try to solve things now, and don't wait until things get bad or even a little bad. Because what happens is in our laziness, in our aloofness, we get in the habit of just saying, well, she'll be okay. She's having an episode, or all of the things that we say to women when they are depressed or unhappy, or they're complaining about our marriage and things like that. Another thing too is we don't, as men, we don't want any more on us than we already have. As a man, we're out working, we're out trying to bring the bread home, we're trying to make sure things are done around the house, things are done with the cars, the maintenance, trying to spend time and do the best we can with our wife, trying to make sure our kids are raised properly and going to the right schools, and getting taken care of in the church and things like that. And so, we kind of just go, well, I got my problems, you got your problems. But see, it doesn't work like that. When we're together, we are one flesh, and we have to realize that throughout our marriage. And so a lot of times a woman will file for or ask for divorce when she feels no emotional support for her husband. So no emotional support from her husband. So kind of like what I said, if she's going through things and she can't speak to him about it, because that's what she married you for. They married us to be able to talk to us and lean on us, and be the one that can lay their shoulder on their head on, and for us to listen to them. And a lot of times women these days, well, all throughout time, women, they will go out and find someone else to listen to them if their husband doesn't. Another reason that women file for divorce is she feels no emotional connection from her husband. So there's no emotional connection. Like, I don't feel anything for you. I don't love you no more. And I feel you don't love me. The next thing is she feels her marriage is going nowhere. No one wants to be in a going nowhere marriage. And so these days, women don't have to put up with it. They just go, well, just give me half of your stuff. I'll see the kids half the time. I'll probably get them more than you. And I'll just go move out, or have you move out. And then we'll just, I'll be better off than I am now, because right now I don't really feel this marriage is going anywhere, or going to be anything special after being married 5 or 10 or 20 years. Next, A wife will file for divorce if she feels neglected, like the husband doesn't spend time with her, he doesn't talk to her right and speak to her right, and he just neglects her and takes care of himself and thinks about himself. And women, they don't roll like that. They need to nurture, so which means that they need you to lean on them and talk to them about your problems and what's going on. You know, Another thing too that causes women to ask for divorce is they get mentally frustrated. Their hormones are gone. We call that menopause. And so menopause comes, and if your wife is 40 and over, there's a big chance that if she's asked for divorce, that she has menopause issues going on. She has symptoms already, especially if she's 55 and 60 and things like that. 50s and 60s, you've got to understand these kind of things. And a lot of times menopause, because of her hormones are gone, her sexual desire is gone, a lot of things like that. You as a man got to understand these things. And I've done shows about this in the past. But one of the biggest things, other than the no emotional connection, is horrible communication. Arguing, fighting, debating, bickering, blaming, criticizing. These things to a woman hurt them very deeply, and especially coming from their husband who is supposed to love them and care for them. So they just kind of go, well, if we can't even talk, every time we argue, we're fighting. I'm stressed out, he's stressed out, he don't love me, so I might as well just ask for a divorce. Another thing women ask for divorce too is trying to get the man to man up, trying to get him to say, show me you love me. Like, I'm gonna make it hard for you and I'm unhappy, but I still have a little hope. And a lot of people are going to be telling her, well, if you don't love him, you leave him, or if he's mean to you, whatever, leave him. But then there are also those people that tell your wife, just stick it out and maybe he'll change. So I know I talk mainly about single women and divorced women talking to your wife, and that's mostly what's going on. But sometimes, man, there are logical, commonsensical people in your wife's life that'll tell her, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Give your husband time, helping, pray for him, and do all these kind of things. But a lot of times women don't listen. And then another thing is, if the bottom line is a woman files for divorce because she just doesn't feel loved. And that comes from what God has given her, the emotional thing, the nurturing thing. Why? Because she can bond to the children. And so you can't get mad at a woman who is just doing what was inside of her. Just like women, you shouldn't be really getting mad at your husband because he's being a man. That's what God is instilling in him. The logic of I got to get things done, and I got to prioritize things. What we have to do is learn to love our wife for who she is, her God-given and her characteristics that she develops from her experiences in life. And the same with your husband, ladies. Learn to love that man for who he is instead of trying to change him, and trying to get him to do things that you want him to do, but that's just ain't in him. Or if you're going to do that, you got to give him time or pray for him and show him and help show him the way. you know, and that's kind of what this is. This is kind of, I wanted to let you guys know straight up that that's what's going on when your wife asks for divorce, man. She got all this stuff going on in her head. And so what I need you to do is pull your heads out of your butts and start to really listen. And even if your wife hasn't asked for divorce, look at her and learn how to look at her and observe her and understand when things are not going quite right, so that she can get that emotional support from you, that she can lean on you. Okay. So we will be right back. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Okay. Okay, here we go. So let's get going. So the radical rant of the day, the Catholic Alpha's radical rant of the day is she's asked for a divorce. Now what? Again, we will discuss 12 actions you should do if your wife asks for divorce. Now look, man, some of this is not all the things that you should do, but it's a good start. Don't be playing around. Don't be thinking that she's joking around and all that kind of stuff. Just take stuff as serious for what it is. Prepare yourself, protect yourself. Okay, that's the best advice that you should be given, that you should try your best to listen to it. I know a lot of people don't take action till the pain is really bad. Well, in this situation, your wife is already ahead of you. You know, she's already 20 steps ahead of you. And the longer you wait to take action, the worse it's going to be. So, start out again, we will discuss 12 actions that you should do immediately upon your wife saying that I want a divorce. Okay, number one is don't beg, plead, chase, or cry. Okay, this stuff's unmasculine. This will push her away, and you'll look weak. One of the reasons your wife is leaving you is because either you're mean or and you're mean and you're nasty, you neglect her, you talk mean to her, or you're a wuss. Okay, which means you soft, you weak, you don't man up, you don't do the stuff you want to do. Those are two extremes. Okay. So if you start begging and pleading and chasing her and all over the city and crying and all that kind of stuff, then you're just doing that's probably one of the reasons why she is trying to get away from you as a man in the first place. And I know that might not sound nice, but I'm just letting you know from experience what women say and kind of what they do. Women want real men. I can't not express that to you gentlemen enough. Real men are not this man walking around that can bench 600 pounds looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's big and beating everybody up. And women don't want some dude that's weak and soft, that's whining and selfish and crying. He don't take care of business. He don't do his responsibilities. Everything's her fault or the kid's fault or somebody else's fault. That's what women, they hate that stuff. Because why? Women are attracted to Christ. As a man, they're attracted to Christ. And when you're doing things in your home, you got to ask yourself, is that what Christ, the ultimate example of a man, is that what he would do? So have you ever heard Christ beg and plead and chase folks and cry and be selfish and all that stuff? No, you ain't. Okay. So the number two reason, I'm sorry, the number two thing that you should do immediately, um, when your wife asks you for a divorce, is what? Is control yourself. Control yourself, just like I was talking about Christ. Christ always controlled himself. Meekness, patience, humility. That's the marks of a true man. Okay, people think meekness is weak. No, meekness means control. I stay under control. I keep myself in an even mode no matter what's going on. I don't open my mouth and lose control and start saying stupid stuff that I can't take back. Right? Embrace these things. Embrace meekness. Embrace humility. Embrace patience. Refrain from losing your temper. This will scare her and may cause her to call the police or try and kick you out. Okay. Understand you are just as much to blame as she is. A lot of men, they really think they really try to play the dumb game. You know when your wife's not happy. You know when you're married. Men know when their marriage ain't right. They know. They know. All you gotta do is look. If you don't believe that, look at the kids. The kids will tell you too. I don't mean through their mouth, but how they're acting. You know, the signs are all around us, gentlemen. All I'm saying is try to control yourself. Don't get upset. Half of this is your fault, half is her fault. So who's gonna fix it? Who's gonna help fix it? Who's gonna be the real man in the situation? You want your wife to be the man, the adult, or we're gonna play this high school stuff? Well, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. Is that what we're gonna do now? We're 50 years old and we're still blaming our wife for everything, or blaming our work or whoever for everything. We don't take responsibility for nothing. This is how you conquer Satan. It really is. You as a man take responsibility. You get yourself together. You start acting like Christ and understanding what that means. And man, you'd be surprised you'd be surprised at the benefits and the change in your life. You will. You really will. Because everybody will treat you different. Everybody will treat you different, including your wife and kids, your parents, your friends, your church members. If you go to church, everybody will start treating you different, man. They just will. And it'll be for the better too. You want respect, you got to earn it. And the first place you earn it is with God and your wife. That's where you roll. Okay. The third thing you should do immediately when your wife asks for divorce is don't chase, attack, or confront the other guy if there is one. I'm going to say that again. Don't chase, attack, or confront the other man if there is one. Why? This will cause more harm than good. I ain't never seen it cause anything better. It doesn't. You got to remember, man, your wife is the one that not your wife, I shouldn't say that. The wife is the one that gave herself to this other man. So in his eyes, she's my woman now. Right? Especially if he's a jerk. And if he's a home wrecker, so he's a jerk. I don't care how nice the man is, he's trying to be. He's a complete jerk. He's a home wrecker. And he's selfish and he don't care. I can't tell you how many men that I've come across, not other men that I've talked to, that has said that the dude, Jerry, he's getting divorced too. So now he's gonna take my woman. He getting divorced too, and he didn't convince the woman to get divorced because he's like this special person. And he ain't nothing. He's dirt. Any man that messes with another man's woman, and another man's wife, and has a family and has kids, and you mess with this woman, I don't care what that woman's talking about. She ain't worth a damn if she's sitting up there. She's got a husband at home and kids, and she's out messing around, being on, messing around, doing stuff she ain't supposed to be doing with some other dude. Now, I told you that because I want you to understand I am not in the dark. But see, that is the proper way that's the reality of things, but then there's the proper way to handle things. Now, I just told you what the reality is, but the proper way to handle it is you don't make things worse. You don't go out chasing that fool. You don't go out confronting him. You don't go out trying to talk to him. You don't go to his house. You don't go to his job. You don't slash his tires on his car. You don't shoot him. You don't stab him. You don't even talk. Matter of fact, you don't even bring him up to her or to the kids or anybody. You know why? Because every time you do, you look like the one that got the problem in today's society. Back in the old days, 100 years ago, if you mess with another man's wife, they just kill you. The other husband would just kill you. If you got caught. But see, nowadays, man, everybody's is in the name of love. Well, she loves him and he loves her. She can go do whatever she wants. Completely stupid. Why is that stupid? Well, sin makes us stupid. That's the way it is, And so I want you to understand, though, man, your job and your power comes from God as a husband and as a man and as a father. All of your power and authority comes from God. So, man, you ain't got to trip. You ain't got to go out there and make a fool out of yourself. You just be calm and cool and meek and patient. And knowing that comes from knowing that if your wife is out there messing around, man, guess what's going to happen? It ain't going to last anyway. But while your wife's gone, you got to be getting your act together, man. It's a reason why your wife is messing with some other dude. Just think about it. It is a reason why wives mess with other dudes, because they don't want to. They just do because they feel they ain't got no other choice, or they ain't happy. And that comes from two people in a marriage not acting right. Okay. So refrain from losing your temper. I mean, sorry. Um, Confronting the guy will cause more harm than good. Even if you beat him to a pulp, she will take his side, call the police, and feel a need to get further away from you. Okay? Look, man, women take up for the people they sleeping with. That's the reality of the situation. I don't care if it's a girlfriend, a fiance, or a married woman. Don't matter. They all the same. They're gonna take up and protect the person they sleeping with. Why? Because that's who they bonded to at this moment right now. This is why I try my best to get you gentlemen to understand that you got to pay attention to your woman. I don't care if she's out there working 12 hours a day, whatever she is, or she's at home as a homemaker. I don't care. You got to pay attention to your woman, man. Stop. Get your head out of the sand if you're married. If you got a girlfriend too, or a fiance too, don't matter. If you don't want your woman, somebody else sure does. And that's how you got to think about this stuff. Because today, man, there's no morality in the society. If it is, it's very little. We all know that. God's not around. So people have chosen Satan over God. It's only two sides. We all know that. Jesus Christ or Satan. Most people in this country have chosen the other way. Just look at your senators and your congressmen. Look at your presidents. Look at your county officials. Look at all this. I mean, it's around. So what you got to do as a man is know that when your woman's outside the house, you gotta be protecting her. First of all, you need to get your butt in prayer to protect your woman while she out there, and then you got to stay on top of things, man. Stay on top of your game. This is how you win a woman today. People think, well, you see all this romantic stuff and you do all this beautiful stuff. No, man, you just give her some attention, show her you love her, protect her, and show and make sure nothing happens to her, and you control things and you involve the Holy Spirit in your life and in your marriage and in your home to help your wife make the right decisions while she's out there in the world. That's how you do it, man. Really, that's how we do it. Okay. Next, no, another thing too. What will this look? Another thing, if you confront the man, what will it look like to your kids? You being in jail because somebody gonna call the police on you. You and the dude rolling around the ground and stuff. You 50, 60 years old. He 40 or something. you know, you know. He 30 years younger than you. Y'all, you so mad you holding your own, right? You holding your own. You 30. He's 60. You 60, he 20, 40, 30. You hold your own because that's just how you roll, right? Because you're so mad, you hold your own. But look, man, you can't get arrested, man. That's how you got to look. That's why you need prayer, man, to help you make the right decision. Your kids, you're 30, 40 years old, you got young kids, man. How they going to look to your kids? Even your kids that are older, in their 30s and 40s and 50s and stuff. The best way to solve all this stuff, man, is prevention. I call it marriage maintenance. That's how you do it, man. It's how you do it, man. You take care of business before it's time to take care of business. You ain't got to be going through all this pain and misery and stuff in your house. Okay. Another thing about chasing another man, wonder if someone is currently is seriously gets hurt or killed. Think about that. You might be this 20-year-old boy, 20-year-old man. You can bench 300 or 400 pounds. You work out every day. You running this stuff, and you get your girlfriend out there. Y'all gonna get married. You ask her to marry you. She out there messing with dudes, and you big and strong. But you know what? You could kill the other man. He could kill you. Tempered. One thing I learned when I got out of high school, man. Well, I learned the older we are, the more stupid fighting is, because the more consequences too. Somebody can get hurt really serious or killed, and that's why you have to understand. The older you are as a man, the more chances are that somebody will get seriously injured or killed. It don't take much. Okay. All right. So the number 4 Number four thing, if your wife asks for divorce, number four thing you should do immediately, this is a no-brainer, is get your butt an attorney. Get an attorney, pay the money, man. Pay the money. Pay the money. Go borrow the money. Go get another job for the money. Whatever you got to do, pay the man. Sometimes you just got to pay the man. Okay? You just got to pay him. Go get him. Whatever you got to do. Okay? Pay the consultation fee. Go to 3 lawyers, pay the consultation fee, and stop joking around and get the best, the best advice you can. Not really advice, but like learn the law in your state of what's happening, right? A lot of men, they go online and they looking at stuff and this and that, but man, you need to know specifics. You got to go talk to somebody. Stop using the internet for stupid stuff. When I'm gonna watch this guy on this video and he's gonna tell me all these things that I can do, but that dude might be in Michigan somewhere. He might not be in California. You know, the internet in a situation like this, just like with hiring a marriage coach, it's the same thing. The internet is good for general knowledge, man. But eventually, you got to scale that down and stop playing around and go pay some money, a consultation fee, to an attorney, so that you can get with somebody who has a reason to help you. And the reason to help you is you didn't try to talk him down. You gave him this $200 or $300 for the consultation, and you asked all the questions you can in that hour. And most of them will help you. And then you learn who you're dealing with. Then out of those 3, you don't hire anybody until you talk to all 3 of them. And then what you do is you decide to hire somebody if your wife files. So if your wife files or she hires a lawyer, you already know who you're going to hire. You ain't going out doing research and then trying to make appointments. Because sometimes with lawyers, man, it don't matter if they're a good, a mediocre, or great lawyer. It might be weeks for you to get an appointment with them. Okay? Can't be messing around. Okay. Other thing is to do not hire 1 or 2. You have spoken to at least 3. I said that. But the final thing on this section is try and find ones that cater to men only. Now, that's going to take a little work. That's why you got to start early. So as soon as your wife start talking about divorce, now she might 2 weeks later say, "Oh, baby, I was just kidding." Or she might just say it to make you mad, but I don't care what she said it for. Don't be thinking she's bluffing. You ain't got time for that. You're a man. You got responsibilities, and you got to go out and do what you got to do. Don't be listening to some woman that could change today and then change your mind again tomorrow and then change your mind again the other day, the next day. You've got to get yourself together and protect yourself, okay? So you try to find ones that cater to men, that deal with men, that really want to fight for men. Like me. I don't really help women. I really help men. That's because that's what I want to. What's what I want to do. Because women, work with women, man. It's a whole nother ball game. Well, I don't really work for women like I work for the dude. I work with women a long time. It's a very short period of time. But men, I want to work with men because I like working with men. I just do. And I know that that's where you get the most bang for my buck. Working for men is where I get the most bang for my buck. Because if I can get the man to change his way of thinking, his way of being, his family will change. His life will change for the better. Okay. Okay. So that's why when you go find an attorney, try to find one that's, that's worked with men and likes working with men and it wants to fight you. That's what they like to do. Okay. All right. Number 5 is what the number 5 thing you do if your wife asks for a divorce is you hire a marriage coach. Okay. Now look, that's not self-serving. That's just what a smart person does. You got all of these problems coming at you at one time. Your marriage coach, if they know what they're doing, they more important than your attorney. Because a good marriage coach will involve your attorney, God, your children, all of these things going on at once. And you a lot of times when your wife asks a man, when a wife asks for divorce, the husband, man, he starts stressing out real bad. He starts losing weight. He starts can't eat. His job suffers. His money suffering. He just can't sleep. And so he can't think straight. And this is why you have to find somebody that can help you orchestrate all of these things that's going on in your life right now. And I'm gonna tell you when I talk about the attorney, pay the man. Pay the man, pay the man. Because whatever he's asking is or whatever he's asking ain't even it's not even doesn't even cover half of the work he's gonna put in to help you. And that's the honest to God's truth. Okay. Pay the man, pay the man, pay the man so that you can start getting some organization. You start putting things together, just like with your attorney. It's the same kind of deal, man. It's the same kind of deal, you know. And when it comes to marriage, man, your marriage starts going down and starts crashing. Things around us start crashing real quick. You know how I know? Because I was there. It starts crashing real quick. Your wife is gone because of the lack of emotional connection. You must get this back. That's the only reason why you hire a marriage coach, because you ain't got no emotional connection. And you got to get that back, and that's not easy to do. Okay? You must become a better man, husband, and father. These are things that pushed her away. You've got to realize most men can't do this on their own and need guidance. And if you could do it on your own, you would have already done it. That's a very powerful statement when it comes to lawyers and marriage coaches. You think, guys think, well, I ain't gonna pay that because I go out and do this on my own. Well, if you could do it, you've then done it, and your wife wouldn't be gone. That's how I look at it. I was young and dumb too. What, 30 years old or something? My wife leaving me, messed around, all kind of crazy stuff. And I didn't want to pay nobody. I didn't know what to do, right? Most of us don't even know what to do. We like, okay, yeah, I didn't know there was a marriage, such thing as a marriage coach. Marriage counseling, but even then, you kind of like, marriage counseling, they're going to just dog me out. They're going to gang up on me. And the marriage counselor probably going to be a woman. So I got two women. I'm in marriage counseling. They jumping all on me. Right? Look, that's the reality of the situation. Okay. So what I'm telling you to do is pay the man, because it's going to be well worth what you're trying to do to get you, just to get your mindset right and to get you on the right track, man, to give you a different eyes and different things to look at, ways to look at things. Because right now, a man in that situation is stressed out and he can't think straight. You guys know how it is. Okay. So number 6, the number 6 thing that you should do when your wife asks for divorce real quick is, man, don't be fighting in front of the kids. Don't be fighting in front of the children. This is parent malpractice for you or your wife to involve the children in this in any way. Fighting in front of them or within earshot will damage them for the long term. The only way to remove the damage will be for you and your wife to remain married. Another thing too, that last statement is real powerful. The only way for you to not to damage your children, I don't care how old they are, is for you and your wife to stay together and stay married. Nothing else is acceptable. Please don't fall for the one about, kids gonna be all right. They 2, they 5, they 15, they 30, they 40. No, man, that's not how it works, man. Mother and father married, going to church. That's the way it's supposed to be with the children. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, this other stuff that everybody be thinking, all these excuses we make for ourselves. Well, my happiness means everything. And, I'm trying to find myself. That's what women say. I got to go find myself. Where you going to find yourself at? Yourself is in the mirror. Just touch yourself. Just touch yourself. You can say, there you go. Oh, what's another one? Hey, guys, what's another women say? I just, I've got to go. I was not find myself, but yeah, I got to go heal. That's another one they say. I got to go heal. Where you going to heal that? Where you going? You going to the mountains? The reason I'm joking about it and saying it is funny, but it ain't really a joke, is we all, no matter who we are, we can't leave ourselves. Another thing you hear with women, I lost myself when I was with you. I lost myself. No, you didn't. You didn't lose yourself. You want to lose yourself because you was in love and you want to. That's what in love women do. They lose themselves inside their husband, and their husband loses themselves inside their wife. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But when women do, they try to think of any stupid excuse and rationalize any reason to get away from their husband, and none of it's smart. Unless your husband is busting you in the face every day, unless your husband is being unfaithful to you, you have no reason to be trying to divorce him. You don't. and really ain't supposed to be divorcing him then. Okay, look, man, you our marriages will not be any better the second time or third time or fourth time around if we don't fix ourselves in the marriage we in. That's the key to this whole thing, man. That's the key to the whole thing. Is people these days we're taught to be so selfish, man, and we don't really know when it comes to giving and sacrificing ourselves for anything other than ourselves. We don't really know what to do and how to handle it. Okay, and it's funny how a selfish person says somebody else is selfish, right? How many times you every time you heard a woman say, "You're so selfish. You're so selfish," and you think in your head, "Well, man, you're more selfish than I am." Okay, so look, man, fighting in front of the kids or within earshot will damage the kids for long term. The only way again to remove that damage is for the parents to stay together. Man, please, please, I beg you, do not fight or mention the divorce and do all this stuff in front of within earshot of your children. I don't care how old they are. Man, if they're a baby or something, or 1 year old or something, a baby or an infant, that's different. But once they start getting 3, 4 years old and 10, 12, 15, they ain't stupid, man. They can sense the tension and stuff. So what you do is, you go to the restaurant, you get in the car, you go in the bedroom, close the door, you put the kids to sleep, something where the kids ain't really hearing this stuff. Because, man, even no matter how mad you are or your wife is, man, you really don't want your kids to turn against you or turn against your wife, right? So that's how you stop all this stuff. You got enough problems trying to explain to your kids that one of y'all is leaving or why you guys ain't in the same bedroom and all that kind of stuff. So but you don't want them to see the anger, right? And it kills me how these wives, they be so mean to their husbands in front of the kids, disrespecting him and calling him names and just no control. This is why you as the man got to have control, baby. This is why you've got to have control. Because if you get out of control and she gets out of control, then what you got? You got fist fights happening, right? Right? Okay. So please try to understand. That's a pretty big one. That's real big. Um, Number 7, reason that I'm sorry, not a reason, but the number 7 thing you do when your wife um, um, asks for a divorce, man, right off the bat, you find soldiers to give you support. So what are soldiers? Soldiers are people, your kids, your parents, your friends, your church members. It don't matter. There are people, your co-workers. There are people who who have empathy for you. They on your side. They understand how important marriage is, and they want to save it too. So they do whatever they can to help you to facilitate that with your wife. Why? Well, because when your wife has been planning to leave for 2 years, let's say for example, she's not trying to hear nothing you trying to say about staying, right? But she ain't gonna listen to nobody else either, but she's more apt to listen to her friends, her parents, your parents, siblings, the kids. Hey, I don't care how strong a woman is. When the kids start talking about mama, what you leaving for? Mama, wait, what you doing day like that for? Mama, that is the most powerful thing I've seen. I've seen wives totally flip when the kids start, no matter how young or old they are, when the kids get into it, it changes things. Now, a lot of times, sometimes it won't change a thing. If you got one of them older women, like they like 60 and 70 and 80, they hardcore, right? They've been in the marriage for 40 years and 50 years and stuff, and they tired of it. It's really hard. It's really hard no matter what the kids say. They just their heart is just so cold. And I've seen it. It's so depressing. Their heart is so cold. It don't matter what anybody says. They gonna do it. They gonna divorce him, and when they divorce him, they ain't gonna talk to him. They gonna make it real hard. This is why, man, you need the help of the Holy Spirit to help to not just for your wife, but also for you to help you battle this too. Okay. So that's what soldiers are. And so soldiers will help you to stay in the game, right? That's the only reason why you hire a marriage coach, right? Because that person is going to keep you hyped up and keep you in the game and keep you fighting and keep you doing things that moving you toward reuniting with your wife and stuff. And your soldiers, when they talk positive and say, man, it's gonna be all right, and you got somebody else you can talk to, and they're like, man, I understand and stuff like that, then man, that's what you need. But what you don't need is people who mean well but don't know what the hell they talking about. Evil people. Evil people are leave your wife, screw her, take the kids away from her. She ain't about nothing. Go get you another woman with all the other stuff. Man, leave her, forget her, that kind of stuff. Man, as a man that loves Christ, you can't be listening to that stuff. You don't got time for that stuff. So those kind of people, what you do is you put light and you let them finish their stuff, and then you go, okay, but then you never, ever, ever talk to that person about your marriage problems again. When they ask about you, just say, oh, it's not going that well, and then you kind of just move on to something else. Because you don't need to hear that stuff. What you do, anybody that's talking positive, like, hey, man, hang in there, man. It's going to be tough right now, man. She'll come around, man. She still loves you, cares about you, and all that stuff, man. She will, those people, you want to talk to them. It's just like on the football team or, hey, man, who won the game last night with Purdue? Does anybody know? Purdue and, was it UConn or something? Somebody post who won the game last night. I'm an Indiana man, so I couldn't watch it last night. I fell asleep. But anyway, but yeah, man, those are the kind of people you need. You need people to hype you up, just like you on a sports team, right? Right before the game, everybody's hyping everybody up. And that's what you need. Why? Because you need encouragement to keep going, because you don't want to be a failure. You want to save your marriage, right? You want to save your marriage. You want to keep your marriage, keep your family together, being with God and stuff, And so you need encouragement. So positive people, man, this is one time where I'll be like, listen, you need positive people, man. The negative folks, man, get away from them. Don't be rude and stuff, but just be like, don't talk to them about it no more, because why? They're going to bring you down, and that's not what you need right now, okay? Number 8, we're doing good, y'all. Number 8 thing you do when your wife asks for a divorce is don't talk about the divorce, okay? That's what lawyers are for. And y'all saying, well, Jerry, if she asks for divorce or she files a divorce, why can't we talk about it? Because, man, talking about it worked so far? Has talking about your marriage problems worked so far? Has it? Of course not. So why talk about it? Because when you talk about problems, y'all know how women are. That's right. You did slap me 30 years ago. You did call me a bitch 7 years ago. You did look at that other woman for 25 seconds 5 years ago. You didn't take out the trash 6 months ago. poor guy. I'm sorry. But y'all know it's true. So every time you talk about this stuff, all you doing is making her remember. That's why I'm divorcing his butt. That's why. So look, man, let your lawyers do that. That's what lawyers are for. Your job is to draw your wife to you, and you can't draw your wife to you talking about divorce, okay? Divert the question to something else. You're trying to build new memories, not trying to keep on the old memories, okay? Next, number 9. Number 9 thing you do when your wife asks for divorce is don't move out. Man, I can't tell you, don't move out. I'm going to say it again, don't move out. I'm going to say it again, don't move out. Because what's going to happen, you're going to talk to somebody and you kind of won. Oh, darn. Oh, man. Hey, what's up, Dante? How you been, brother? I didn't know. Oh, man, Purdue lost y'all. Darn it. They had that big boy, though. Well, that's what happens when you only got one good player, I guess. One great player, and everybody else is average. But anyway, so let's keep going. So the reason you don't move out is because you're going to want to move back in later, and it's going to be much harder, okay? You don't move out. What you do is you move to the basement, move to another bedroom, or something like that, man. But don't be moving out and stuff, man. Don't be moving out. First of all, you need to protect your family. And if you move out, who's going to protect them? Especially if you got real little kids, man, 15 and below and stuff. You can't be leaving them and stuff. Your wife is emotional. She's going to tell you all kind of stuff to do and she's gonna tell you all kind of stuff to do because she's not really thinking straight right now. That's that, and so you have to use your common sense more and low. Okay, if I move out, boom. Then guys try to move back in later, and most of the time, the wife gets all mad and stuff. But after a while, they calm down. But sometimes they get mad. They get mad, want to sell the house, and don't want the kids to be around, and all kind of crazy stuff. But the bottom line is, man, you do not move out in the first place. Don't do it. Okay, stay there. If you and I know this is if your wife wants somebody to leave, let her leave, because your job is to protect and stay around and protect everybody. If your wife is that upset where she's got to leave the house, then that's what she does. You got look, man. You gotta let them go sometime to get them back. And trying to control them and all that stuff. You don't do. Christ would not have you. I just told you earlier. Christ. There's only two reasons that Christ says you can move out of your house or separate as a married couple, and that only mean to deal with divorce. Number one is if people hitting on people, right? Number two is people messing around and cheating on people. That's the only two reasons for folks to separate in a marriage. Ain't no other reasons. It's not pornography. It's not masturbation. It's not talking to me mean. It's not verbal abusing me. None of that stuff that these people have made up today to try to rationalize leaving their families and stuff. Women, I'm talking about women because I work, like I said, I work with men. Okay, so just try to be strong. Try to be strong and realize this is your home too. You pay the mortgage just like she pays the mortgage, and we got to work it out. This is why we can't be acting like we in high school. Well, you need to leave. I need to leave. See, man, I did that stuff too, y'all. I did that stuff. My first wife, man, like I said, I was young, 35 or something, 30, 31, 32, something like that. My wife's up there, getting on man, telling me you to leave. So what do? I do what all the guys do. Well, if that's what she want, I just get in the car. The guy got in the car, went to my mama's house, hung out with my mama for a couple of weeks. I come home, man. I forgot something at the house, right? So I come home, my wife and the kids at school, my wife at work. I go in the house, man. I walk in the bathroom. I walk in the bedroom to get my stuff. I said, man, it sure is clean around here. I'm looking around, y'all. I'm like, it sure is clean around here. The floor's clean, the bed's made, everything. But that ain't what did it. What did it was, man, I walk in the master bedroom and I look at the tub and there's a brand new shower curtain, man. A brand new shower curtain. I'm like, Jerry, what do you mean? So what? Dude, I've been trying to get my wife to get a brand new shower curtain for 2 years, man. All of a sudden I'm gone. We're going to get a new shower curtain. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm going home to my mama's house, got my stuff, and I came back in the house, man, and put my stuff right back in the house. You know why? Because, man, I was paying rent too. Shoot, I'm paying rent too. We're going to have to work it out. That's how I looked at it, And then, of course, she was mad for a while, but then she got over it, But my point of what I'm saying, man, is, women, they mean well. They're not trying to hurt you. They're really not. They really ain't, man. They just confused, and I shouldn't really say confused. They're just hurting. Their marriage didn't turn out how they thought it was going to turn out. Okay, and so that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see, man. This, being mad, getting out of control, and blaming folks and stuff, man. That stuff don't do nothing, man. Don't blame your wife, man. Try to understand and pray for her. Really, praying works. So that's got now 3 more, real quick. So number 10, the 10th thing you should do when your wife, this is so funny. Anyway, number 10 thing you do when your wife is messed around is, when your wife asks for divorce, is you see a priest. Okay, now some of y'all gonna say, yeah, man, I saw the priest and he ain't do nothing, right? I know. But what you do is even still is if the priest that is not proper, then you go to another parish and find another priest. If you're a Protestant, same thing. You always go to your priest first or a priest and try to schedule an appointment and for support and spiritual guidance, because you need spiritual guidance, man. You really do. Okay. And so you let them try to help you. You talk to him, you tell him what's going on. If he's a good counselor, use him to help you through this too. Like, You got a marriage coach, you got a lawyer. Hey, it's good to have a spiritual a good counselor that's a priest, man, or your pastor if you Protestant, like I said, that you trust, that or whatever. Um, if he is not, just allow him to help you with the spiritual guidance stuff and remain on your quest to find a good marriage coach. So a lot of priests these days and and pastors these days, man, they don't try to work with the domestic thing. They don't want to counsel no couples. They don't want to do none of that because it's hard. It's hard. And they don't want to do it, and because it causes a lot more problems than it's worth to them. Okay. So that's that. Number 11. Last thing on that one is a priest is not a marriage coach and is not a substitute for one, just as a marriage coach is not a priest, okay, or a pastor. So you gotta, distinguish between that and understand what you're dealing with. All right, 2 more, y'all. Number 11. I can't say how many times I've been told guys this one. Number 11, when your wife asks for divorce, protect your bank account. First time this happened, when the first years I started doing this, one of my cats, man, he was in Hawaii. And man, it was during COVID too. And the dude, the brother, man, he was Hawaiian brother. He's a brother, man, Hawaiian stuff. He said, yeah, man, we got this we get this $8,000 tax check. During COVID, they kind of lowered the tax standards or something, and everybody's getting all this money back. Well, they got like $8,000, which is pretty good, but I know people that got way more too. Yeah, like $8,000, man. And I was like, man, you probably, I said, man, when is that money coming? And he's like, well, it ain't here yet or something like that, right? Man, come to find out, man, the girl, his wife, man, and he's a young couple too. His wife, man, then took the kids, moved to another island, because when they're in Hawaii, right? So she took the kids with her boyfriend and went to another island, hijacked the check, y'all, and spent the money on her boyfriend stuff. That's cold-blooded, ain't it? Ain't that cold-blooded? So ever since then, I'm really on it. If I'm working with you and I sense that your wife's going to hijack that money, man, I tell you, please, man, get your money out. So you're not going to take the money. What you're going to do is you're going to be smart about it, because you don't want to piss off your lawyer and her lawyer and stuff. Because when you get lawyers and lawyers I call big daddy, like the big daddy government. Once you get the court, judge, lawyers involved, you have no more control. Like, if that's another reason why you move out of your house, because once you involve big daddy government and you have moved out of your house, there's no way you're getting back in the house, right? If there's money in the account, first thing they're going to do is freeze the accounts, but by the end, your wife could be there and rape the account, right? So what you do, one of the things I suggest is your joint account. Most everybody's got one. You take all the money out of the account. You give your wife half of it, her half, you take your half, or however you guys split it up. And then the joint account, that's when everybody put their bill money in there like that. That way I'm not spending all my check. She ain't spending all her check. It's a fair thing. Now, most people ain't going to want to do that. You know why? Because right now they selfish and they don't give a damn. They don't care. They can try to do nothing you wanted to do. But that's why you got to take control and do that, because you'll come home, she'll have a $10,000 lawyer, and you got $10,000 in your account, or $2,000. Your wife to come home and says, well, I need that money. I'm going to get $8,000 for my mama, and I'm going to get $2,000 from this account right here. And you're going to come home and try to pay your bills, and it's going to be gone. So that's my point. Again, seriously consider removing all of the money from your joint account and dividing it equal between you and your wife after all the bills are paid. Get a financial agreement where once all the money is removed, you each put money in the account to account for the monthly bills. If you don't do this, she may drain the account and leave you high and dry with all the bills. Remember, she may already have talked to a lawyer, especially if your wife can talk to a lawyer, man, you know what's coming. Where's she going to get the money from? I don't care how much money she make. She's gonna come rate that account. Okay. That's why you do it the fair way. Okay. Now, once you get your lawyers involved, you can't go raping accounts, because they're going to freeze it and you're going to get in trouble. Your wife will too if they try to pull money out of the accounts because they think you're trying to steal it. Okay. And then the last one, which is also the most important one, this is the most important thing. When your wife asks for a divorce, the first thing you start doing ASAP is you begin spiritual warfare today, yesterday. Your marriage and family are under attack. You can no longer afford to neglect your relationship with our Lord. Begin combating the evil immediately. You must fight this battlefront just as hard as you fight the court battlefront. Do not underestimate the power of the Holy Spirit to change the heart of your wife. I'm telling you, I've seen it 100,000 times. Most men that are in marriage crisis, they ain't right with the Lord. They ain't. You can sit there and lie and say you are. Most guys ain't. And so what has happened is one of our mission as a men is to defend our home against Satan. But see, we got all these excuses while we busy and we can't do all that. Well, so Satan walks right in. Why? Because God ain't there. Jesus ain't there. And you and the husband is being neglectful. He's not on his job, keeping Satan out. So, man, I'm just telling you, that's the most important thing you can do. You've got to involve the Holy Spirit in your marriage, especially when you not especially at all times, but you have to ramp it up when you have marriage crisis problems. Like my wife has asked for divorce. That means Satan's talking to her, man. Listen, if you believe in God, you got to believe in Jesus Christ. You got to believe in the Blessed Mother. You got to believe in Saint Joseph. You got to believe in angels. You got to believe in demons. This ain't no joke. You got to believe in Satan, okay? And there's a heaven and there's a hell and there's purgatory, okay? If you believe in God, you are required by the church to believe in all those other things too. So if all that stuff's true, as a man, we got to do what? Man, we got to defend our home. And if we ain't doing it, Satan gonna walk right in, walk upstairs and get in bed with our wife and kids, man. Please. So if a man is in marriage crisis, Satan talking to his wife, man. Satan's talking to your wife, man. He's in her ear, dude, and you got to get his butt out. Okay? So putting it all together. When a woman asks for a divorce, please don't assume she is bluffing. Many husbands assume this role and get crushed. I'm not saying for you to stop the love and care for your wife. What I am saying is to use common sense and be prepared for the many things that may come at you. It is your responsibility to God, your children, yourself, and even your beloved wife. She's emotionally confused and in a lot of pain and is just trying to get the pain to stop by any means necessary. And that, unfortunately, is removing you as fast as possible from the equation. These 12 things are not all that you need to do, but by God, they are a good start to protecting yourself from the damage you and your wife have caused in your marriage. Stand up, man up, and get some action going right now. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, gents. So we are done for the day. But before we go, as always, I want to review the 12 things to solidify it in your brain before you leave. Also, I do a replay of the show at like 6 p.m. Eastern. So not live, but it's a replay. So you can also watch it again there or share it if you want to help others. Believe it or not, man, I'm sure you know some of this stuff, but a lot of the stuff you don't. But the good thing is, man, now you got a list that'll help you a little bit. I want to make it longer, but you know me, sometimes I can get overboard, y'all. I'll be having 100 list, 100 question list. But if I put it in here, it's important, so I might do another one, make it longer. But okay, so here you go. So these are the 12 things that I ask you to do immediately when your wife asks for divorce. Number 1, don't beg, plead, chase her, or cry. Number 2, control yourself. Be meek. Don't get angry. Number 3, don't chase, attack, or confront the other man if there is one. Number 4, get an attorney and interview 3 of them as soon as possible. Number 5, hire a marriage coach as soon as possible. Number 6, don't fight in front of the children or talk about the divorce in front of the children. Number 7, find soldiers to give you support. You need to find someone to give you support. When guys enter my program, the first thing I do is give you a support system of other men that are where you are. And number 8 thing you do when your wife asks for a divorce, the 8th immediate thing you do is don't talk about the divorce with your wife. Number 9, don't move out. And number 10, go see your priest. Number 11, when she asks for a divorce, do this immediately, is protect your bank account. And number 12, begin spiritual warfare immediately. All right. So that's that. And if you guys have ideas on the show that you want me to do, please email me at radicalquestions@catholicalpha.com. That's radicalquestions@catholicalpha.com. I will evaluate that and try my best to do that show if I think it's going to help enough people. All right. And so, as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, "Society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle." Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!